Everybody, it's Craig with ClipScribe. Today I want to talk about setting up your office space to also be a studio space and some things that you can do to kind of spice it up for that a little bit. So the other day somebody posted on our ClipScribe Facebook group and they said, how do I get that office background that I see in your tutorial videos? Meaning, how can I make that background my own background, as if this behind me is like a photo and I'm using a green screen, but this is not. This is real. It's not a photo. It's an actual backdrop. Now, it is possible, of course, many of you know at this point that you can use a green screen background behind you, and a lot of software now allows you kind of on the fly to take out the background, even if you don't have a green screen. I've done green screens before. I've got a big roll of green screen paper here that I bought at our local, professional photo store here. I personally am not a huge fan of green screens for this type of thing for a couple reasons. One, it just adds a layer of complexity. In order for it to look really good, you need to make sure your lighting is spot on. And that adds another layer of complexity. And it may seem easy, like you can just flick a switch, but you've seen green screen, if you've done Zoom or something like that. You can usually tell, and it's usually rather fuzzy around the edges. So for me personally, because this is a space where this is my office, this is my studio, this is where I work every day, this is where I create video content. It's a place that I want to feel comfortable, that I want to be happy to be here, but it's also a place that I want to use to create video content. So I want it to kind of have a unique feel about it when it's on camera. And so for me, having kind of this organic space where I'm not just putting a photo behind me and it's personalized was a better fit for me. And it might be for you. Now, obviously, if you don't have a space like this, an office where you can shut a door, or where maybe you're in a place where there's a lot of people around all the time, then that's totally understandable. But if you do have a spot where you can create content in the same place over and over, I want to give you some tips on things that you can do to kind of spice up your place and make it more friendly to you, but also to your viewers. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about what I've done back here, how I've personalized this area, some of the things that I did to personalize it, and just hopefully that'll help you out a little bit as you try to do the same thing. So in the background behind me, I wanted to have a place to put a number of different things, some things that I already had, some things that I literally just fabricated solely for this space right here. And so I literally bought this bookshelf, I think off of Wayfair or something like that. I thought it was a cool looking bookshelf. And so that's why I bought the bookshelf, and I like the shelving and everything. So one thing that I did that I recommend, period, is to use lighting to enhance the space behind you. So I have a lot of different lights going on back here, and the lighting provides a backlight. It separates you from the background in video and film, especially interview type stuff like this. Lighting's usually made of a key light, a fill light, and a backlight. And the whole point of the backlight is to separate you from your background. So putting light, while this isn't necessarily a traditional backlight back there, the lighting definitely helps separate you from your background. And it also helps for you to be away from your background a little bit. That's what causes the fuzziness back there, because I'm not right up against. If I was back here, you wouldn't really see that kind of depth of field thing back there. So I have literally a mixture of lights from stuff I bought at Home Depot, stuff I bought on Amazon. I bought like this. This one always turns off. But this is a light that I just purchased and just put a colored bulb in it. I've got a couple of light bars behind the shelving there. I have another lamp I bought at like IKEA. I have these lights here, these shelving lights that I got at Home Depot, and I painted them black. And so, yeah, you can even kind of see the wires there, but I did my best to kind of hide the wires. Now, a couple other things that you can implement besides kind of like this creative lighting are lamps. Now, this was a fun project for me because I thought, what can I do that's interesting or creative with lamps? And so I had this camera. This was my dad's old Super 8 camera. And this thing, I think it looks really cool. It's quite simple. Like, if I push it, it'll probably knock over and fall over because it's literally just barely put together. And I just screwed a hole in it and jammed a light receptacle down in there and put a bulb in it. This is actually has a Wi-Fi bulb in it, so it can change the colors and everything, so I can kind of make the color where I want it. And then I've got my tripod lamp over here. Same thing. Had an old tripod, turned it into a lamp. Taped or screwed a bulb, a receptacle in there, and put a bulb in it. Got a shade for it, and that was pretty much it. So the thing about both of those are, what am I talking about? I'm talking about video. I'm talking about making video content. What is ClipScribe about? It's a tool to help you maximize the attention you get from your video content and maximize the reach you get from it. So obviously I'm talking about video. So I tried to think, what creative things can I do that is not just overwhelmingly, screaming video at you, but, kind of hints towards what my whole thing is about here. And so those were a couple of fun things. Now, obviously, you see a lot of other photography stuff back here. This is one of my first, semi-professional video cameras. It's out of date. I don't use it anymore. I thought it'd be a really fun book stand. And then I have just my camera gear. I've got a number of cameras back here, older models that I don't use anymore, lenses. I've got a bunch of mini DV tapes that I don't use anymore. I have boxes full of this stuff, so why not put those out? Some lenses, a viewfinder. I just have a lot of this stuff that is related to, what I do, but it just kind of makes fun, backgrounds back here, and it gives some interest to the viewers, okay? So it draws people in. Hey, what is that back there? I think it adds a bit of whatever, intrigue or interest. Now, I have this camera. I have this kind of old-timey, 50s or 60s camera, not a camera, clock. I literally bought that off of eBay for a video that I did one time, and I had it laying around, and I just think it's a cool kind of retro-looking camera. So not much to it, but it just looks cool. And then these pictures are literally stuff just like I printed out. Some photos, stock photos from online. I've got the ClipScribe logo here. I have another logo from my Craig Lillard site. I have some old Kodak. This is like an old Kodak ad up there. Again, kind of hinting towards video or film or imagery. And then I just have a photo that I took when I was in Panama years ago. And it just adds some color and interest. And a clock, literally from like Hobby Lobby, that means nothing, but again, just kind of fills in the space. One thing that I had to consider is that I've got this blank wall back here, and there's no color in this wall. I'm not going to paint the wall. So that's a hurdle you have to jump over, is how can you make your space more interesting? Even if I put this bookshelf back here, and I didn't have these things on the sides, it's going to be a blank, bland wall. So you can enhance the color of your background without having to paint. You can either fill it in with pictures or photos, buy a bunch of pictures, print out whatever kind of photos or color, type of stuff that you want. Honestly, you could take a picture frame and put a blank square of color in it and put a number of those back here, and it's going to be better than just a blank, bland, beige or white wall. And then obviously the lighting helps with the color too. You can turn a blank, bland wall if you have a strong enough light, a light that's colored blue or pink or purple. You can completely color your wall behind you and add some interest without having, to paint or do anything like that. Those are some creative ways that you can kind of enhance what's going on behind you without having to, go to a lot of trouble painting, getting all kinds of furniture and stuff like that. Something I've done in the past is I went to Home Depot, and one of the first sets I did, I went to Home Depot and I bought paneling, like fake wood paneling. It was like $60 or something like that. And it made it look like I had a wood wall behind me, and I put some shelves in it, and I hung some lights down that kind of without shades or anything, was just cool old-timey light bulbs. There's all kinds of creative things that you can do to spice up your space, but also make it yours. Now, the reason I took that stuff down is because it was very fly-by-night. It looked kind of junky. It didn't make me super happy about my space. It was great for video because the camera only got that space, so it looked like the whole place looked like that. But it didn't feel right to me. A couple other things I did was, and I'll show this at some point, but my lights, I have lights and I have my camera, but they're all on wall-mounted stands. And so it keeps my office from having to have light stands all over the place that I'm having to walk around. They're completely up and out of the way too. So those are a couple other things that you could do, maybe not right away, but as you work on getting your space a little more interesting. And then of course I've got some books back there. Books are great. Books make the space more interesting. They just fill it in with color. There's no real rhyme or reason to it, but it's just trying to add interest to the space behind you in the form of color, in the form of things, books, whatever, photos, fake photos, real photos. Anything to add some color and interest is going to help you out a lot. It's going to make you feel like the space is your own, and it's going to be completely unique. A green screen with a photo behind it that anybody else could go out and buy that same photo. That's not super unique. Make the space yours. Tie it in to who you are and what you like to do. And if you can get creative with it and have fun with it, or you have somebody that can help you get creative and kind of do some neat things with it, that's also fun and personalizes it as well. So let me know what questions you have. Thanks for watching, everybody. I love any comments. Give me some ideas. What have you done? What do you want to do? Do you have any other creative things that you can do that you've done in your own space or that you would like to do? I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And if you have any questions about any of the stuff in here or the space or what I did or how I did it or why, I would love to answer those in the comment. As always, check out ClipScribe.com. If you want to take your videos, you want to make them look like this with subtitles and headlines, check us out. And other than that, I look forward to see you on another video.